the step to be would be come up with preliminary plans on the road and the drainage plan for Matt to review. And even if there is an ordinance in place, you can have exceptions to an ordinance if it's, you know, if it's approved, so.
Yes.
Again, we're just trying to keep costs down based on all the previous factors that's involved in this
Right.
project. So,
Right.
so we thought that might be a little more cost effective. I know we even had some conversations about whether we should do asphalt or if we could do a chip and seal road. I know it's asphalt's requirement for us to accept it. It is required.
For the county to accept it as a road.
For maintenance.
Yeah. Now, if you want to keep it a private road,
Eventually put gravel on.
yeah.
Yeah, we could. And that's, you gotta explore all those options. And that's what we were asking.
Right.
What makes sense long term, because you can do an HOA, let them maintain the road too. Correct.
Right. But in order for it to be considered for acceptance into the county road inventory, there are specifications that have to be followed.
Give it me, I can send you our ordinance on. Say that again, I'm sorry? Give it me, and I'll send you the ordinance. Okay. That specifies all of it. Okay. It's pretty old, needs to be updated. Okay. But, I mean, there can be changes made to that too.
I know we've talked before, like in some of your subdivisions, you do cement stabilization rather than rock base and stuff like that, which.
Yeah, line stabilization, yeah, it's pretty common.
Right, and I think our ordinance.
Do that in lieu of more rock base, yeah.
Right, and I think our ordinance says more rock, but like once again, if it.
About cement line stabilization, that one was put in, so.
Right. So there, I mean, obviously we want it done right, but there are ways to do it right that aren't actually in the ordinance, so.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of people who would tell you that.
Yeah.
Not doing stabilization, it doesn't matter how much rock you put down.
Exactly,
Getting better, so.
right.
I'm no engineer, so I'll stay out of that.
Well, we have a probationary one, but. What else we need to talk about, Scott? I mean, we
Yeah,
could.
and then, it kind of lays it out for you, Jared, but just the review process of the subdivision ordinance. You know, that, once you get to the point where there's a primary plat, you know, there has to be a hearing, and I believe that, have we sent those notices out in the past? They provided addresses, and then we send the notices out, is that how we've done that?
Yeah.
And you want to
Yeah.
provide us a joint
We do.
address?
Yeah, we send it out. They provide us with the letter and the addresses, and then we cross-reference what they've given with what we think who it should be going to, and make sure the letter looks okay.
Didn't we just do that one for the one on the north side of the road? Didn't we say?
That required it.
No, that was a.
Well, that was because that was a minor, or that, well, it's,
Parcel division.
yeah, okay.
So as far as the primary plat and drainage and reports, that, and then the full infrastructure design, construction, and the final plat after everything's done, after all the construction, that's when the final plat can be
Yes.
submitted.
I assume water you're gonna purchase from the town of Hopstock?
That would be the intention.
The hot water pipe gets in there.
Actually, I think we've done that, it is pipe.
Not pipe, it's Gibson water.
It's Gibson line that runs in.
The Gibson line comes off 41, runs down this road
Yeah, but I think
to Hopstock,
Hopstock.
but there's a certain point where it's,
We thought it was Hopstock, and I'm pretty sure Scott Bowman already talked with the guys at Gibson Water and confirmed that it is their line.
It's theirs, so then you'll have to meet their specifications for the.
Check on that, because Hopstock just met last night and this was discussed. So,
And Bonnie thinks it's their line.
huh,
Bonnie thinks it's theirs,
yeah,
because she lives across the street from me.
We'll do whichever one of them says.
There's water available.
Right,
water available, yeah.
Here's
Because
the-
that's the feed for Hopstock, so that's the main, that's
Yeah,
the
so it
main.
depends on who owns it.
No water available, yeah.
it's whether you're purchasing it direct from Gibson or from the town of Hopstock.
Correct.
So what, this lies within the Hopstock zoning, so what kind of steps do you have to go
property line's a zoning line,
And
right?
that is something good to talk about because that has come up before. So I think if you look at some old Hopstock zoning maps, it does show this area being zoned. But I think there's some information somewhere that shows that was amended and there
Stops at the Union,
is
stops
no,
at
it
Orange.
stops at the township line.
Okay, so hotspot zoning does not go into using that, so it's the fence line
Yeah.
at Mr. Kiesel's house there.
But be aware, there are some maps out there that show it as zoned by.
But that's something you'll,
Yeah, we confirm.
yeah, you'll determine that.
A better answer to the final plat here is like on page 22 here, it says the final plat will not be considered for approval until the action taken by the commissioners on the required primary plat has been completed. When the final plat submitted does not substantially conform to the approved primary plat, the subdivision will not file an application for final plat approval until primary plat has been amended in accordance with the same procedure.
It's west of town. Zoning stopped.
Do you two have any questions?
I would just ask if there's any concerns of anybody, anything we're working towards, or anything we need to adjust at this stage before we.
As far as I'm concerned, there's not.
No,
I don't have any concerns, I just want, you know, like I said, I want to make sure the health department, everybody's got good communication here. Knows who to go to, ask questions, so.
Do you have a list of the utilities that we have to submit a letter to?
Does it say something in here about?
as far as what, locates or,
No, submission to utility companies, subdividers send a copy of the plat to local utility companies designated by said review committee.
I mean, we already know, CenterPoint, we've already got them, so they know what's going on.
yeah, I don't know.
I can't remember, I can look, I can get back with you, I can look and see who we sent it to.
Typically, we'll call them and
Last
send
time.
one ticket, and the people that show up on that is a good starting point.
Right.
And I know, I think at some point we get the primary plat maybe to the fire department. See if there's any comments, get it out to some of the other county offices just to see if there's any comments, if something stands out to them. But yeah, I can look and see.
I'm in full support of a nice subdivision.
I know the pushback we're gonna have is the condition of the roadway, is the road gonna get widened? No.
We
Now,
only have so much right of way. The road can be improved.
You're talking about
coming up
the
the
road.
hill, I have talked to NDOT, and they said we will widen past where the concrete curb is when they do this project starting next year. If the project doesn't get killed because of our funding issues. They would help, they were, the concrete goes out wide coming up that hill. We're looking to see how utility locates call in and see what kind of utility problems we're running through right away. Is it gonna be 60 foot wide? No, but can I hit, 4 feet each side possibly? Yes. If that's the only one, and we'll look at some kind of an overlay here in the future. But,
Is there even room within your road right away?
I think, down towards the south end there is. Yeah, there's no right of way available, it's like on a touch edge road anyway. So, I know traffic's gonna gain, I'll tell you that you'd have to build 200 houses out there for me to consider on our end legal design considerations.
Would it make sense for us to give you more right away on our?
That's actually required in the subdivision control land.
There's a certain amount of right of way required.
Yes,
Even on the county road part that we're not.
yes, even on the county road part, right.
Well, you know, I don't know outside of what they own.
If the road was put in.
No, it's what they own.
Yeah.
I think there's something in there that on the, I think there's a requirement in there for ingress and egress and everything. I think there is a requirement for adding some right of way to what's existing now. Let's find out what that is, because the right of way varies pretty different.
Yeah, I think, and some of it doesn't have.
And some of them doesn't have any dedicated, yes. I might actually have documents for that.
And then on that, it would just be on the
probably offset now. Offset quite a bit now, so you're probably almost there, but
Yeah, I don't know
25 foot
if
center
it's-
line is what we'd be looking for.
I don't know, like storm or.
Then we've only got those parcels that we have to deal with.
We still own everything to the north
Yeah,
right
they
now.
own all
But
this.
also they own this, so we've got some there. This
Just
would be
right
a
here.
problem, because they're the ones calling, wanting to try to set up building, and what's the other rates.
So would that make sense too, on the properties that we still own to the north side, give them a couple of feet on that?
Absolutely.
Yes.
That would definitely help with the process of getting that road widened. At least for this section.
I'm for it, so.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
No, it doesn't help with anything past our property, but.
Right, but it gets me, I mean, I could really see this being a lot more traffic going to 41 than going the opposite direction.
Sure.
And then I'm just a couple parcels away from being able to do something. I'm gonna try to look at the right of way now and see if I got anything back in the day.
You know, the other big thing, I want to make sure the septic is following anything that's in the ordinance or, you know, I would, make sure we're following.
I get a copy of that. Is that the one that said it's over that kind of?
I mean, obviously, it's all subject to change at the moment, but this is what we're intending. He doesn't have drainage ponds or anything, but I know our preliminary conversations were to put longer ponds on the lots, not take up like an entire lot, just put, that was what we were hoping to do.
Like a small narrow
Yeah.
pond that spans several lots, kind
That's
of
what we
thing.
were thinking, so. I don't know if he's got any of that sketched yet or not, so.
And then would this be more of just like a sketch and just a rough idea of what?
Yeah, nothing's engineered or even really started past that right there, so.
Right.
But I would make sure anything that, you know, anything with septic roads that's in the ordinance.
And I know our intention was, I'm not sure what conversation you've had with my brother, but he was saying that we're fully okay to even dedicate a spot for the septics, because I think that was the issue back in the past in the county, throughout the county, where no one dedicated that, and then people disturbed soil and put in things over the top of where field bed should have been, leading to some problems, so we need to have it dedicated.
And I'm wondering if that's something that you might check, that maybe that is in the ordinance where that has to be, petition off or something, I don't know.
I think
I'd have to
he's
dig,
basically.
I'd have to dig into the specifications, but that's something that, you might think about.
Yeah, I mean, I think the difference between this and what a lot of it has to do is we're planning to control and build every house. So we're gonna make sure that when we build it and transfer it, we're doing it the way it needs to be. But that doesn't stop somebody later from putting in a barn or something where they're not supposed to. We're dealing with that with a homeowner up in Jasper right now, where they built a barn like over the top of their field bed, and now it's failing. That's not my fault.
Right.
You shouldn't have done that, and if there's some kind of easement, that, it may not have prevented it, it could have at
Well,
least helped
my
them.
concern is we live, we have half acre lots, if you put a 4-bedroom house in there, that's gonna be a good size septic system, so I just wanna make sure there's room to get that in.
Yeah, I know that, the preliminary discussions with Becky were all, we were planning to do, Presby, is that the word at the time? I think they, yeah, so, I know nothing about septic, but,
Well, obviously, everything's subject to the health department's approval on the septic system, so you'll have to stay in close contact with Misty.
That half acre kind of,
Right.
tips a little bit.
I know Cody's got dimensions for those two different types, longer, narrow one, so we've got that information, we'll make sure that it's it on here, and if we need to do a setback line, you know, or something to preserve those areas.
I was thinking that there might be something in here, I'm not seeing it, that reserves those.
because I know in the past, like even at White Church, some of those were septic before the newer part, they were
else has any major questions, basically the only thing I can say is communicate. I mean, all the line from Mr. Mickle. Talk to me, talk to Scott, stay in contact with Misty, get your preliminary engineering and all done for Lyle to look at as far as drainage, road construction, get with Matt.
So basically get everything done and then turn it in so we can do a public hearing and then that's the process.
Yeah.
That's the process.
There's nothing else, no other meeting with this group before preliminary, it's just this?
No, this is just what I'm calling a sketch plan meeting. I just thought,
Yeah.
it'd be good, instead of, I think the ordinance, I don't even think it's mandatory, but it just calls for an informal meeting with the county surveyor. And I wanted to put, your designer in contact with Lyle and make sure you have, the designer have Matt's information. Make sure everybody's got good communication. So, yeah.
Like I said, I'm a proponent. We have a housing shortage. I want nice, single-family homes.
Well, push back on this, but we have it on everything in the world we ever do.
I've got broad shoulders.
I've got pushback on spraying poison hemlock right now, because I think they quit spraying it, spray Johnson grass out.
I think too, from what I've heard and from what just in the past for this area, is not only septic and roads, the third thing will be drainage.
Right.
That people will have concern
But
about.
if you follow the drainage plan and
Sure, we're following all the ordinances.
have retention and everything like that, that's how it needs to move forward.
Thanks, everybody.
No problem.